The Rick and Shauna Show, baby. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Smart moves, smart doors. That's the way to go. For every rental dream, they help the numbers flow. Before you buy, after you close, they help you know. Welcome to the Rick and Shauna Show.
Hello and welcome back to the Rick and Shauna Show. Today we are going to be focusing on partnering with property management companies, focusing more on before you buy your property. So
I just think about this, we talk about this all the time.
yeah,
The challenges that owners have when they come into this market. Mm-hmm. And it always seems like they're always kind of behind the curve in terms of just understanding what's happening in the market.
right.
So, that's one of the things that, as a property management company, you'd like to see people come into the market exploring a property management company before they even start looking at properties.
Right. Partnering with, you already have an agent, right? So you think that, your agent should know everything about everything. And
Right.
really the agent should be able to just focus on the sales, right? They know the listings, they know the market as far as sales go, but partnering with a property management company up front like that is just as important because we know the rental side of things. So, let your agent off the hook a little bit with that. Let your agent be able to do like the sales stuff and make sure that they are focusing on the right buy as far as an investment goes. And then, but piecing that together, right, is a property management company because we're going to be on the other side of that, giving you rental prices.
Right. And like you said before, staying in your lane.
Yes.
It's like we all
it's
have
always
our,
about
we
that.
all have we have our expertise, and we can't all be jacks of all trades, and that's what makes this work, and that's why we do partner with other agents.
Right.
That makes sense because they're leaning on us for their our expertise.
Yeah, for us and for them.
Yes.
I mean, working together in this industry means that we don't have to know it all, So let them do their job and then, meet up with us, especially before the purchase, because the most important thing is like walking through the house, right? An agent is going to look at it from a sales standpoint. Great, that's awesome. But from a rental standpoint, it's a lot different. There are things that we look for because we work with Section 8.
Right.
So we look for those kind of things.
Yep.
There's, the lead certification, thing that every county has now that, the property can't have peeling paint. And if it does, you're in trouble if, it gets inspected, and it does. So we can prevent that. That's a huge expense, and we can get into that later about why that's so important.
Yeah, and the beauty of it is that when we get to see these properties first, even though, as you said, an agent from a sales standpoint, yes, the numbers have to make sense from the sales end,
That's
but
right.
also has to be a property that is going to perform well in the market.
That's right.
So it could be priced right, but it could be setting in a horrible spot.
That's right.
Between two
that's
really
it.
bad properties
Yep.
or vacant properties across the street. And even though your property's great,
Yep.
and it looks nice, anybody that comes to see it says, hey, I love this property, but I
Yep.
don't like what's around it.
Yeah, and how many times do we run into that when, somebody's already bought a property because they're looking at it on the online, the pictures online.
Yep.
And it's just, it looks great.
It
But,
does look great.
and an agent probably doesn't know to think of that. Hey, it's not really that great looking around, but this house is great. And they're just selling that house.
Yep.
For us, we're renting, it seems like the neighborhood, right? Or you're renting the surrounding area. And that's some of the things through the experience that we've had that we've known to just start looking for. We just have a different eye for things.
Right.
And
the fact that we're going to have to manage it.
Absolutely.
So we're never going to, like when an owner is on the fence about a property,
Yeah.
they're going to get the real deal with us.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to be just, go ahead and buy a property and we'll just hope for the best. It's like, no, we're going to have to answer for it.
That's right.
Because
Good
they're going
news,
to be
bad
looking,
news, yeah.
they're going to be looking to us when we say, well, hey, we're struggling to rent this place because of where it sits.
Yeah.
The question's going to be, well, how come I didn't know about that up front?
That's right. Yep.
So that's one of the places that, we can avoid, many of these mistakes. It's, we're never going to avoid all of them.
No.
But there are things that we can do to put an owner in a much better place.
Yeah, no, for sure. We talk about this, I don't know, probably once a week at least. So, it's just a matter of location matters in a rental big time. And then, you've got your rental pricing. So, that's the other big thing is making sure that you're not putting any guesswork into it. Let us actually help you do the realistic numbers.
Yeah, and those are tools. They're
Yes.
tools that we use as well. We use the Zillows, we use the online tools that are out there. But the difference is we know that's not necessarily what the properties are renting for.
Yeah.
So it gives us a starting point that we can evaluate that and say, okay, this is what the market is saying, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that's what the property is going to rent at.
Yeah.
And it has to do with all these things that we just talked about.
Yeah.
Condition of the property, if the property is in great condition.
Yep, amenities.
Can we stretch it?
Yep.
Of course.
Yep.
We're going to do everything we can to stretch that price for an owner.
For sure.
And to get that rent that they need to get. But you have to understand all those things.
That's right.
That go into that pricing. And the market is going to tell us.
Yeah.
So even though an owner says this is what I need to get, hopefully what we're doing is avoiding that situation where they've got this expectation that might not be realistic.
Right.
Then we're the ones that kind of give them the bad news to say, oh, we're going to struggle to get that price,
Right.
and the decision has been made. So now you're kind of like, playing from a place of weakness instead of strength.
Right, correct. And that's where we come in. And here, listen, I want to, public service announcement, agents, we're not trying to kill your deals, right? I think a lot of agents are kind of afraid to partner ahead of time just because we might be bringing the realistic side of things, but we're only here to help because what does that do? That gives them repeat business, right?
Yes, it's not one and done.
No.
Because that's the worst thing that can happen for
Yeah.
an agent is the fact that somebody says, well, I should have never bought this property.
Right.
And they find that out sometimes just because of what you said. We're going to give them the information.
Yep.
We're going to tell them what's really going on with the property, and sometimes it doesn't line up.
That's right. Let us help you.
Yeah, and if it doesn't, then that could create a problem. But,
Yeah.
bottom line is we're trying to all win here. We want the agents to do well because some of our best referral partners are
Absolutely.
agents.
Yes.
So we want to continue that. But we also have, I should say, loyalty to the
client.
to the client.
Absolutely.
To
That's our
let them
number
know
one.
what's really going on with their property.
Yeah.
And sometimes, we have to be the bearer of bad news.
Correct.
And
Yeah, because like you said, we deal with it long term. And, we are not here, like property management companies, I think, some people think, well, you just collect my rent, right? Well, not here, we don't. Not at Icon Property Management, we don't. We have a full staff and we're departmentalized and everyone has their own lane, right?
Yeah.
And we're here to give you a team of experts before you buy. And if it's after, it's fine. We're going to just work really hard to get you back on the right track. We might have to deliver some
tough news.
yeah, tough news,
Yeah.
but we're going to deliver it and we're going to work with you. And, I think that's really something with Icon Property Management that we have is that we have a team of people that have been in this business for a really long time and we're here to help,
Yeah.
all the way around.
Yeah, no doubt. And that is one of the things that is sharing that bad news as much as you don't want to do it. It's so important to do because an owner needs to understand where they're at.
Right.
And the only way we can get that property back to performing is understanding it. So it's not that we won't take, as a property manager, we won't take owners that have stressed properties.
No, we do it all the time.
We do it all the time.
Yeah.
And that's what we're here for.
Right.
There's a reason they're coming to property management, right?
Right.
There's a few things, but one of the major one is that they are in a situation. They
Yeah.
need help.
Yes.
And that help could be many things.
Oh, yeah.
It could be, that their property is in poor condition and they need somebody to help them to get it up to speed. It could have been mismanaged.
Yeah.
I mean, there's many things
All the
that it
things.
could, all of those things.
Yeah.
But, that's the goal, is just to give good information, educate owners on where their property's at, and help them be as profitable as they can be.
Yeah.
You know,
Bottom line.
Bottom line.
That's it. We want to be able to, deliver the good news.
Yeah.
We've
And
got
part of that too is, a lot of times, people don't think about it as much, but, yes, we want to do a good job for the owners,
Yeah.
but we also want to do a good job for the tenants.
Yes, absolutely.
We want them to have a good place to live, safe place. We want to be responsive to their needs as well.
That's right.
So it's a two-way street.
For sure. Yeah. So circling back, partnering with a property management is important before you buy a property. Just give us a call. We don't even have to have it under management yet, right? We will answer all the questions. We have done this countless times where we've had people referred to us, or they just see us, online or whatever, and they give us a call and they just start picking our brain, and we're going to give the information.
Yep.
It's one of the best things that we know how to do here is to get you to a spot to help you propel forward, right? Profitably. So that's what we're here for. The questions are going to get answered. We have loads of experience in these markets, and we've just seen so many different ups and downs in this industry, and
Constant change.
yes.
Constant change.
Yes.
That's what's always happening.
Yeah.
And that's one of the other things that we bring to the table is understanding what those changes are and
Yeah.
trying to stay ahead of them.
Correct.
But to circle back, like you said, is, the most important thing is really before you even think about buying a property in a market, the best thing you can do is talk to someone like us
Yeah.
to have a good understanding of what it is. So
Yep.
I would say ultimately have your property management company in place prior to you even thinking about putting an offer on
Absolutely.
the property.
100%
Because you
agree.
want that property manager to really understand. So once you have that manager in place, it becomes much easier.
Yeah.
Because they're going to go out, they're going to look at this property, and they're going to share the good news and the bad news because they know they're going to have to manage it.
Right. Well, they should be anyways.
They should be. That's right. They should be.
So, some of these topics that we've touched on, I know we just kind of, went through really quickly. So we wanted to let our listeners know that we will be having subsequent episodes more, covering these things a little bit more, like your vacancy rates, like your tenant screening, like your locations, like amenities, how to price a property. There's so many topics that go with this particular episode, but we are going to
We're going to break it down.
break it down for
Yeah.
that way we're not here for 2 hours, on one podcast that can get
Yeah,
long.
because you could literally, for the topics that fall underneath this, you could probably spend half hour on each of them.
For sure.
Just because there's a lot, and some of them more than others. But
Yep.
there's many things that fall underneath that, and it probably is going to make a lot more sense if we just break those down.
Yeah. Well, even going back further, before that, when somebody is brand new and just thinking about getting into this market, like they haven't really, done much yet. They've done their research and they've dipped their toe in the water, but they need a lender or they need an insurance agent or they need just guidance in general. We're going to have those people on too.
Right.
So all of those things is what makes us, the Rick and Shauna team and Icon Property Management, in my opinion, just a little bit of step of ahead, right? Or a step ahead
above, because above it. And I think that's a great point, is that, these contractors, the people that we've learned to lean on this market to help make us successful. And, honestly, to help them make them successful as well. They're in this market. They have businesses in the market. They have their lanes that they're in, their expertise, it comes in their lane.
Yeah.
And we'll be able to bring a lot of those people to you.
Right.
And help you with your business. So some of them you may not even have thought about, to be honest with you.
True.
There's many, when it comes to lenders and title agencies, there's a lot of stuff that's involved in this, and you may not have thought about it.
Right. Well, and that's what we're here for.
That's what we're here for.
That's it, right?
I think that's a
for
good
now.
place for us to stop. And look forward to going through some of these things that we've talked about today in upcoming episodes, so stay tuned.
Yeah.
And we'll move this forward.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.